Nah. At some point, he just stopped, forgot about it, changed the way you thought about it. You're now a different person. It was something of the past. Or was it? If you're anything like me, you also know the feeling of slowly leaving your past hobbies behind or feeling like you no longer enjoy them. You might be too busy, you might have just forgotten about it, or feel like it was a thing for the past and you no longer are the same. These may be valid excuses for some of you, but for most of us, including me, it is just a lie we tell ourselves. So today, I want to talk about rediscovering your passion for the hobbies you have forgotten. I have grown up being quite the nerdy kid. Back in the archaic days of the early 2010s when dinosaurs were still around, if you asked me what I enjoyed doing the most, a 6-year-old me would probably list things like playing with Legos, reading books, watching kids' science shows, and spending time in the garden making all sorts of weird mixtures and crafts I would call potions. During my teens, I was exposed to many other things, at which point my hobbies were mostly involving gaming, IT stuff, music, and movies. For most of you in my audience, you can relate to most of the things I just listed there. We don't have to pretend like they're anything special or rare for teenagers in the late 2010s. I did not realize this back then, but among the activities I just listed, there were actually two different categories. I would like to think of them as hobbies and passions, depending on the impact they had on my life. Watching movies and listening to and playing music was just me consuming the works of other talented people. But I was never drawn to actually doing anything about it myself. But passions were different. Just consuming and observing what other people were making was simply not enough. I can't point to a single point in time, but the earliest signs of me realizing this passion was probably when I was around 12, signing up for a robotic course at my school. I was so excited because we were going to use our computers to make other little computers do what we wanted. Up until that moment, I never realized the amount of potential there was in my love for computers to create something. I could learn to make my own robots, my own applications, and even video games. That's where everything changed. Me falling down the game development rabbit hole can probably explain my life decisions in the past 5 to 10 years. It is probably why I'm studying computer science right now. For a few years, especially during the lockdowns, I was so into game dev that my YouTube feed was full of tutorials and devlogs. I was even so sure that I wanted to study a game design major in uni. But over time, very slowly, my involvement in game development just disappeared. I was no longer trying to make little games on my own or joining any game jams. Of course, I was busier than I used to be. I was preparing to get into university, spending time with my friends, going to the gym. But during the free time I had, I was only consuming. I did not have the same passion for computers and game development anymore, or even for movies. I was just another teenager about to graduate from high school, and it stayed like that for years. Occasionally, I would get the damn, wouldn't it be so cool to make a game on the side? Little me was so hyped about it. Well, of course, the thought would get lost in the million other things I had going on. Well, what is the meaning of all this? What are we even supposed to do? How can we bring back this childish excitement to our serious adult lives? It hurts a bit to admit that it was actually so simple all along. It actually relates a bit to my first video, when I said I always had the urge to create something, but never took the first step. And this channel was me taking that step. It is not much different for other things either. What actually inspired me to make this video was me rediscovering that childish excitement. A few weeks ago, I saw an announcement from the Game Dev Association of our university that there would be a 36-hour game jam. Even though we were in a very busy period, I sent it to my friend, knowing that such event usually only happens once a year. And to my surprise, he was down for it. He even invited another friend to join our team. And out of nowhere, I found myself registering for the game jam with a team of 3 people. Even after signing up, I kept telling myself that we didn't have to go, that it wasn't important, and so on, trying to hide my excitement for some reason. We ended up attending the event, and it was actually one of the most fun things I have done in a long while. Being in an environment surrounded by like-minded people, sharing the same interests as you, and seeing how committed everyone was, including us, was truly beautiful. We were laughing our asses off, making the stupidest game design decisions just because we thought it was funny. And I can't tell you how entertaining that was. We were so sure that we had no chance to win, and we did not win. But our game was chosen the most creative game of the jam, which means that our silly ideas actually paid off. What all this is supposed to mean is basically that your passion is still somewhere inside you. You just have to take that step and reach for it, regardless of how childish or embarrassing it might be for you. You are doing it for yourself after all. You don't have to share it with the rest of the world. I actually enjoyed that weekend so much that I started a new game dev project on the side. It feels good to spend effort on something that you have a deep connection for. And I hope that you, dear friend, can also rediscover the passion that the world made you forget. I hope that you too can feel the innocent joy of doing something you genuinely enjoy. If you can relate to any of this, feel free to comment your experience down below. And I must mention that there might be fewer videos than usual in the coming weeks due to my university stuff. But you can always subscribe to not miss when I upload. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.